Great benefit as far as material usage. Fewer tops and bottoms, obviously. If you have 3 boxes worth of shelves and drawers all stacked up as one cabinet, you eliminate sometimes very large pieces. If the cabinet's wide and deep, you can eliminate a piece that might be 2 feet by 3 feet, 2 feet by 40 inches. And so over the space of a large project, you can save a substantial amount of material and also installation time. Of course, these cabinets are heavier and your mover will hate you, but once you get them there, if you have a good install crew, then it is definitely a money saver. So let's just go through that. I'll start here in the presets for a change because this is where they all come from, and there's basic cabinets here, but this is the one we're using today, tall multi-level. This is just something I came up with. You can put whatever you like here. You can call it whatever you like. I've got a sort of a default size here, but we'll change that to 40, and this would be more like, let's say 23.5, 90 for the height, and materials, whatever you like. We have the drawer box material here, everything's there, so we'll leave that. And the fronts, we have the 3 different levels when we do the stacks. So you can use 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, and in this case we're doing all 3. So at the top portion we'll be putting in a top hinge, like a lift up door, probably with a gas cylinder, and we will split that at the 80-inch mark. The mid one, let's go with a double, and we can put, let's say, 4 inner drawers behind that. And we'll split those doors at 50, and we'll put standard drawers in there. We'll do six drawers, and we will adjust those drawer fronts, so we'll have 5, 6, 7 inch fronts to start at the top, and then whatever's left over, because we're doing 6 drawers, we'll have 3 more. So they will be divided equally, so they might be all 8 inches high. We'll see what happens there. So we can save that. So this preset is now saved, and we want to save the presets tab in general. So we just go up here and it says saved presets, so that's good. And then we can go over to the cabinets grid, and I have this pre-populated. All I did was add a cabinet, look at the presets, so right here, and I went down to the tall multi-level. So I've done that already, and oops, that was wrong. Okay, well, we're going to start over. And because I just plugged in those specs in the preset, it's no problem at all. We've got 40-inch width, all of those parameters that I just plugged in, and 3 level. This one likes to be set by itself in the cabinets grid. So let's do that. 80, double, 4 inner drawers behind, split at 50, 6 drawers, standard drawers, and 5, 6, 7. That's all good. Interiors, we'll have a quick look here. So where the fronts are split, we want a fixed shelf normally. We'll put a fixed shelf at the 50 and at the 80. If you remember, that's where those fronts were split. And you'll see that in the when they get generated here. And in the, so we don't want any fixed shelves. We already have these 2. We don't need any more. That's what this is for. These are additional fixed shelves. So in the 3rd space, we have 2 shelves adjustable. Let's go with 1. And in the second space, we have drawers. The third space we have drawers. So that's it. We're only putting 1 in the third level. And we've got the line bore. Let's change that to 5 and 5. The setback from the top and the bottom of that particular space is 5 inches and 5 inches. And here's the setback for the holes from front and back. We've got a full top, no mid rails. Let's save that. And from there we can copy. And the middle one, let's go 80. And I'm just going to change this over here. We'll change this one to a 2 level. And it's just like that. It's just that easy. Let's see what that does. So we're going to save this. And we'll go to Bricscad and generate those parts. Okay, we've got a thing that went sideways here, which is normal because there's a lot going on and it's very easy to miss one of the parameters. But that's one of the strengths of CabSlam, is that I can just get rid of that and I can just go back here. And I see I only had the 1 selected, but also the drawer in the bottom is set to 6. And the mid section is the double doors with the inner drawers behind. And the top is the top hinge lift door. So that should work. I'm just going to right now, let's see what this is. I'm just going to get rid of this. And also right now while we're here, this is another new feature. These 2 checkboxes are for the holes. And you'll see what they are. It's for just mounting the drawer fronts. And so that you don't have to do that after the fact or on site. It's just done. The drawer boxes are already drilled. So you'll see. I'm going to save that. And get rid of that. Get rid of these. Copy this down. So now we have 3 that match the first one. And this one I did change earlier to double stack instead of a triple stack. So we'll leave that there. And change the height. And I'm going to double check these. Yeah, we still have a fixed shelf. That's all good. Second one. Shelves are only in the top. But in this case, we don't want any because we have drawers behind there. Let's give that a try. Okay. There it is. We didn't put adjustable shelves in there, which is what I wanted. So let's just go back. And it's in the Interiors tab. The adjustable shelves are here. And at the top, we did want 1 adjustable shelf and the line bore. And the 2, we wanted 2 with the line bore. I'm just using erase. It's just E. A lot of the commands in CabSlam are just left-handed commands that use two keys. It just keeps you from having to go hunting around for icons, toolbars, that sort of thing. So it's very quick. And once you learn them, it's a great thing. You don't have to worry. Okay, so if you'll notice here, we have holes in the second space, not in the top space. And the reason for that is, if you remember, I set them at 5 and 5. So 5 inches from the top, 5 inches from the bottom. Well, this space is obviously a little bit less than 10. So that's why there's no holes generated there. I can change that, but in a space like that, you wouldn't actually want a shelf anyway, so we're not going to worry about it. But we have the lift up situation where we would use a gas shock of some sort, and that shelf would be in the way anyway. So that would be for cooking pans, possibly, or if it was an architectural office, you might have plans up there. And then we have these shelves, those are fine. And here we have our mixed shelves, which we have a large shelf, or sorry, drawer, and an inner drawer behind, which is set back behind the drawer front. And we can make those different heights as well. But here you can see what I was talking about. There are the mounting holes in the drawers. And in the inner drawers, we just have a 5mm, because we don't really need any adjustment on those. But in the big drawers, we do. We like to have a little bit of room to wiggle to get those set just right. So we use the washer head screws, big washer head screws here, and just regular screws on the inner drawers. So they're all pre-drilled and they can go on extremely quickly. And that's it. Typical sort of default CabSlam construction method here. This is the blind tenon with screws, with holes. So you can either use the conformat screws or regular construction screws. Doesn't really matter, but you will need to pre-drill those once you put it together. Quick pre-drill with either a conformat bit or a standard small pilot bit if you're using regular screws. And that can get slammed together very quick. So there's that. And we'll get rid of that. And we can come back here. And we can just copy that down. If we wanted six units, say a full wall in an architect's office, or just a regular office, just for storage, office supplies, that kind of thing. There we go. And don't forget, we have to do this. We have to go info. If those cabinets are not named sequentially, it will fail. It might do just one cabinet. So it's just because you have to have that once you're into the cutting and the assembly. If you don't have these numbered, then it would just be chaos. You wouldn't know what part was for what. So it won't let you generate those. Okay, so we're generating these parts now. There it is. 7 seconds. There's a lot of parts in there. Took a little longer than normal. And RC keyboard shortcut. Okay. And if you'll notice, this was the case in another video a little while ago. The drawer fronts look fuzzy. The reason for that is, I'll explain again quickly. The edge banding. This is all, let's say, walnut. In the materials section, walnut fronts, which is fine. And then here we have thin wood tape applied to all the doors. So what that does is it creates actually 2 drawer fronts and 2 doors, because if I zoom in, you can see right there, you've got one, which is on the FS layer, which means full size. And if I turn that layer off, freeze that layer, there they go, they're gone. And these are the cut size, the CS, and we can get rid of those as well. But in this case, the FS layer is not really, that's only for presentation. For generating shop drawings, you would want those instead of the cut size. But now, if we're getting into actually generating DXFs, generating parts, you will want the cut size, so we'll turn that on. And yeah, there it is. So from there, you can get into doing some presentation views. In either X-ray, or you can go with the modeling. And these can be brought into rendering packages, conceptual architectural software, to just be used as blocks to visualize an interior. And if you were doing that, you wouldn't go to all this level of detail. You can turn a lot of the detail off so that these could be generated or moved around quickly. But yeah, you get the idea that you could use this in a presentation of some sort. But at the same time, you can create a lot of shop drawings from these professional CAD shop drawings, no problem. And not only that, again, with using keyboard shortcuts, we can select the whole batch. And create nests of materials. And there's a lot of material in that wall. There's these are all the backs here. Right there, you're using up 6 sheets just for the backs. And it shows the different materials. There's the walnut, and this is drawer box pre-fin. And up here we have the box pre-fin. So, oh yeah, these are machine ready, in the sense that I can take all of these solids that have just been laid out and lay them down as DXFs in a group. And this is not something you would send to your CNC necessarily. This is only for checking. And you can get in here, you can check all of these machining geometries. And that one's a pocket, and that looks right. Once you've got used to the way you're doing it, you can easily look at these holes and make sure they're the proper depth and on the proper layer. And these holes, you can look over here and you can see exactly what they are and what they're doing. And once you've done that, then you can come back here and just go another shortcut called ED, and you can send all those to a folder ready to send to the CNC. And they are all properly named because each of these cabinets, you can see here, again, this is another visual reference that's very fast and easy. 1, 2, 3. You can, and so yeah, if one of these cabinets was a little bit different, you would not be getting it mixed up with anything else, because all these parts are labeled. Let's say for cab 2, you can go in here and you can see, well, there, cab 2 right there is the right side, and then right next to cab 5. And all right, that's it.